This is self-publishing news for July 25th, 2022. And boy, it's jack stacked and packed up to the top because I haven't covered it in the past few weeks. So let's go ahead and get on into the items in the news, starting with the fine folks over at Fictionary. They have a Fictionary Book of the Year award. Now, you can learn about this type of stuff here when you actually go over to Fictionary's site and such. But they say there are less than 2 months to submit your unpublished manuscript to the Fictionary Book of the Year award. The deadline is the end of August 2022. Get your novel ready now using Fictionary Storyteller and the Fictionary community. If you want to take part inside the Fictionary contest, you do need to join their community. And I will leave a link in the description for that. The prizes include a full story coach edit by a Fictionary certified story coach editor, including 3 hours of one-on-one consulting time, full manuscript read-through, and full manuscript read-through by the Writers House Literary Agency, and 1 year subscription of a story coach client account. So there's so many other bonus prizes and such like that. Fictionary is just a great tool. I have yet to really dive into it, but the folks over there, just upstanding folks, and I'm not getting paid to share this. Christine is just fantastic over there. But go check out that and get your book submitted if it does qualify. All right, let's go on over to the next item up in the news, and that includes from Ricardo Fayette over at Readsy. Now, Readsy, if you're not familiar, is a fantastic resource for self-publishing. By the way, great YouTube channel. Highly recommend that you go and take a look at them. But they actually go through self-publishing versus traditional publishing, the pros and cons. Now, I think there's a lot of people that, unfortunately, when they join my Discord server over at dalelinks.com/Discord, they oftentimes will say, hey, Dale, how do I find a literary agent? How do I get a TradPub deal? Folks, I can give you a lot of great information about, self-publishing, but when it comes to traditional publishing, that's not my wheelhouse. But I would recommend go over, take a look at this article over on their blog. Definitely worth reading into all those pros and cons and understanding what you can and cannot get by being TradPub or self-pub. All right, let's move further forward here over to the folks over at BookFunnel. Actually have a blog post here. This is a common gripe I get. There's some people that will upload this beautiful EPUB over to KDP, and then it spits out just this ugly thing. In fact, actually, this meme just is perfect right here. My EPUB, this beautiful looking cake, versus my book and Kindle, and it's just absolutely ugly. It's just JoJo altogether. They actually kind of break it down and give you a better understanding of why this happens and what you need to do to make sure that it doesn't get bowling shoe ugly. And if you're offended as a bowler, get over yourself. You'll be fine. Alrighty, next item up in the news here actually comes from the fine folks over at Kindlepreneur. Now, Kindlepreneur, another great, valuable resource. And they're going to talk about Kindle Vella, their description features and tips for authors. And it's a very deep dive, looking into Kindle Vella. How do you leverage it? What are some of the things that you need to look for? What are some of the perks? What is the pricing? How do you get paid? Limitations and exclusivity. This is the most thorough, exhaustive piece I've seen to date about Kindle Vella. Highly recommend. You definitely go take a look over at that. That's over on the kindlepreneur.com. Hey, big happy birthday to the fine folks over at Miblart. Now, actually, Miblart and I will be starting working together this coming month of August. They are doing a sponsorship here with the channel, and I am just over the moon. I can't wait to share my cover design with you folks that I've done with Miblart, but it's their birthday, and I should have told you guys this back on July the 12th. They have been in business for 6 years, and believe it or not, Miblart actually has a few sites. They have Miblart, they have Get Covers, and they have Get Premades. All of these things are pretty much full service options for getting your book cover design done by top-notch individuals at an affordable price. Love them. Big happy birthday over to the folks over at Miblart. I appreciate you. You guys are awesome, and you're going to hear more about them. All right, a little bit of an inside scoop, if you will, all right, is going to be IngramSpark. They have a promo code Sweet Savings for getting yourself waived the fee. Now, there's a fee to upload any of your books over on IngramSpark, and it's $49 for ebook and or ebook and print book. I know that adds up after a while, so sometimes finding a code is a struggle. Sweet Savings, all caps, is your code this month. Now, here's a little bit of insights. You guys remember not too long ago, I actually did a video about some of my hangups about IngramSpark, and they reached out to me. And we've actually been having some dialogue, and they're addressing some of the issues that I brought up in these previous videos. And they're actively working to try to make those things right, because there's people at IngramSpark who are authors too, and they know what that struggle is. And by me kind of bringing that out into the spotlight, brought them on over it to me and got it to where we're kind of chatting. So, ready for this? We've got a coupon code till the end of the year. Just use Dale 2022. That's it. Dale 2022. So if you happen to miss Sweet Savings, it's okay. Use Dale 2022, as in 2022, the year. And this is good for the rest of the year. They will waive it, and it's only once. All right. So as soon as you use it in your account once, that's it. Sorry, that's all the stroke that I have here with IngramSpark. But big thanks over to the gang over at IngramSpark. I appreciate you guys for sure. And speaking of appreciating people, IngramSpark is one, but also Smashwords is another. Oh man, do I love Smashwords. I've just been, a big fan of theirs for a long time. And earlier this year, they actually merged with Drafted Digital, and they did an update recently. And Mark sent out Mark Coker, the former CEO of Smashwords, sent out an email pretty much talking about where they're at in the process of the merging. They have various phases that they're going through. Now, right now, they're in phase 1, which is in active development. Drafted Digital authors will gain distribution into the Smashwords store just as they distribute to other retailers. D2D will also roll out their support for Smashwords' erotica certification system to D2D authors. So previously, you couldn't do erotica over on Drafted Digital. Drafted Digital is like, nope, can't do it. Since Smashwords was acquired there, they have the erotica certification system. So it gets it to where you aren't getting bounced off of their platform. But they said upon completion of phase 1, D2D authors will be selling in the Smashwords store, but they will not yet have access to all the unique and exciting bells and whistles Smashwords has to offer. That's coming next in phase 2. Estimated time of arrival, they're looking at this completing by Q3 to Q4 this year, meaning that right about next month, all the way to the end of the year, that they anticipate phase 1 should be wrapping up. I recommend that if you don't have a Smashwords account, head on over to smashwords.com, get yourself set up. It's a 100% free account. Love them. I don't have a referral link or anything else like that, to be honest with you. They're a great platform. Love them just for their store alone. Like, their store feature is fantastic. Hey, a good friend of mine, Melody, actually reached out to me most recently about a new free community for you to take advantage of, and it is called Author Nation. Now, go take a look over at authornation.circle.so to get more details about this. The whole process is really kind of cool. It's almost like networking and coaching and accountability all wrapped up into one. The most important points that she wanted me to kind of share here with you guys and gals included: we have a resource section called Path to Publishing, taking authors from idea to successful nonfiction author. Each month, the community has an accountability mastermind call where authors set goals and get help with obstacles. Then they record those goals in their author journal, which they can update daily or weekly. And each Monday, we start the week with a 90-minute writing session to keep the momentum of writing going. Only 3% of people who say they have a book in them finish writing the book. The Author Nation community is set up to combine just-in-time knowledge with support, inspiration, and accountability. So again, folks, that is authornation.circle.so. I'm not getting paid to say this. I'm just sending you over there. It's a free resource. Take advantage of it. Will they have some upsells? Maybe, I don't know, but from what I see, everything is pretty much, everything you could need is free over there. And that's one of my favorite costs. I don't know about you guys and gals. Alrighty, going a little further forward, speaking of giveaways and such, actually I wasn't speaking about giveaways until just now. My good friend Derek Depker, he is a self-publishing legend. He's been around the business for a long time. I learned from him and discovered him through Tom Corson Knowles over on his channel. Derek is just fantastic. He's put together this giveaway, and it's win 10 best-selling books for indie authors. And all you got to do is head on over to authorprize.com. Key benefits include one winner receives 10 best-selling books on author success, including, of course, mine. Amazon Keywords for Books is one of those that's selected. By the way, I didn't even pay for that or anything. He just threw it in there. So that was really super cool. Plus a cover design from 100 covers, a done-for-you book description, and additional author courses to sell more books. Plus, every entrant can get a free book, Why Authors Fail, and additional gifts with opt-in to the newsletter. By the way, Why Authors Fail, definitely fantastic read. It's one of the ones that actually I've read a couple of times by Derek. Really good stuff. The best way to share it would be to talk about your personal feelings, whatever jumped out to me. To me, I think it's just crazy the number of books that they're actually adding to this, but the mere fact that you're going to get enrolled in his newsletter, he doesn't spam you. All right. He's always putting out great content. These additional gifts and Why Authors Fail, 100% so much worth it. I'm going to be having Derek come over here onto the podcast relatively soon to discuss a little bit more about a virtual summit that he has coming up. We recorded it earlier this year, totally forgot about it. He came back and he's like, hey, you know, this summit's going to be coming out. And I'm like, man, I thought I was done with summits. Just as soon as I thought I was done, they wrote me back in. Hey, folks, go on over to authorprize.com. Get yourself set up on that. All right, next item up on over in the news is from the fine folks over at Lulu. They say building your audience and how to turn followers into fans. They're doing a webinar that's coming up on this Wednesday, July 27th at 12 p.m. If you happen to be watching this after the fact, it's totally fine. Go over, get yourself registered, watch it. The nice thing about Lulu's webinars is it's not the typical webinar where it's like boring and you're falling asleep and then they go ahead and they hard sell you on something that you don't have any money to afford. No, they're giving free information. So it's more of a workshop than it is a webinar, but I'm just going to go ahead and give it to them on this one. But it can be difficult finding your audience online, but once you've built a following, how can you convert those followers into true fans? How can you leverage your community to create a sustainable business? In this webinar, Team Lulu will walk you through the steps of finding your ideal audience and how to meaningfully connect and engage with them on social media, turning casual followers into lifelong fans. All right, next item up in the news. Hey, it's from the folks over at Inkers Con. Alessandra actually sent out a email about tips to hitting the author jackpot by way of BookBub. Now, a good friend of mine, as well as current Book Rescue Season 2 guest, Sarah Waldays, her BookBub deal just launched today. A little bit of a spoiler on Book Rescue, sorry. But that's the nice benefit since you actually tune in and subscribe to this channel. But at any rate, they talk about how you leverage the BookBub deals, how they have changed considerably since, you know, the early days when you could just kind of do that and yay, and it'd rain money down upon you. But now they kind of look at it a more realistic standpoint of what you need to be doing once you get that BookBub deal. And one of the best ways to really maximize the post, onslaught of sales and such like that, so you can keep that momentum going in your favor. That's the whole thing, is you don't want to just BookBub to come in there and just rain a bunch of downloads for you, because ultimately at the end of the day, what's going to happen is if it's done through Amazon's going to look at that sudden burst in sales and go, oh, that was just a passing fad. You want consistent sales. This is a great piece. Highly recommend you go ahead and take a look at that over in Inkers Con. Again, I'm going to put all the links inside the description down below. And last but not least, this is something that I want to discuss with each and every single one of you. I will be the MC for the second year in a row, actually second year in a row for the in-person conference over at People of Video in Albany, New York. This is on September 19th to the 21st. If you folks want to join the fun, learn a little bit more about scaling your revenue using video content creation. To do that, I highly recommend you head on over to peopleofvideo.com. And here's an exclusive for this community. If you type in the coupon code POVFriends, you will get $100 off your ticket. If you do come there, you're going to be able to chat with me directly, like you and I, eyeball to eyeball, like you come up and talk to me. It's going to be so much better than doing the videos and such. So go over to peopleofvideo.com if you want to meet up in person, chat in person. I'm actually going to be putting a presentation about video creation as well as self-publishing. We're right now talking with a company that might align up with that as a sponsor of the event. And if that happens, it's going to be awesome. So peopleofvideo.com, go over there, POV friends, all one word, for your coupon code of $100 off. That is the news. I'm sorry it took me so long to get back on the wagon, but it's been a few weeks. We're back on track. Did I miss something of note? Is there something that you thought, he kind of overhyped that? Definitely would love to hear from you inside the comments.